Okay, so last video we brought in our model that we made and we were playing around in it, but as you can see it's pretty empty. So now we can start adding stuff to this. So I have my level open and I also have boot.hip so I could see like shiny objects, and we can make a project out of this. I mentioned it before, but you can have it auto save when you close, and then when you reopen the editor it'll show up again, but you can just click save as. And then I already made one, but we can just name it whatever. And every time you open this, it will open up the same set of files and it'll keep your camera the same. So if you are in a hurry, you can do this, move out of here, close out of it, and the next time you reopen it, it'll be in the same spot as before. And anything you hide in here, like if I go and I hide the skybox, this will be saved too whenever I do that. But yeah, so that's Project Files. A very nice way to get or not have to open up a bunch of stuff every single time, and it does it automatically. So now we're going to start adding things to this level. First, you'll want to click on Tools and download Industrial Park Editor files. And it will tell you it'll download, and it takes a little bit. And if you've already downloaded it before, it'll update it with anything new. It might take a little bit. And it tells you it's done. So now we can go over to those files, which I have a shortcut here, but it's wherever you installed Industrial Park. So Industrial Park, Resources, Editor files. And then you pick the game you're doing. So we're doing Battlefield Game Button, pick the version, we're doing GameCube. And then we have utility. These are a bunch of useful things. Tikis, throw fruits, characters. NPCs are just characters, like characters you can't play as. Models are just some useful models, balloons, buttons, invisible walls. But we're here for some enemies, so you want to find out what enemies you want. So maybe I want some fodders, and maybe, I don't know, a glove. A fodder and a glove is what we're looking for. So now we go over to our hip or our hop file. You want the hop one that has your models and everything. And then we'll click edit, import hip hop archive. We go to where those were, and then you can select whatever you want. So I want the fodder and I want the glove. So we'll click open. And now this filled up our list a lot. We have our textures for the level. We have the textures for the fodder, the glove, and then regular models, all of this stuff for the robots. So I like to try to keep it organized where I keep my things separate from the enemies, which means if you do organize the layer, it'll collapse them all and be mixed up. So yeah, I like to keep mine separate. But once you have whatever you want, and we can click save, and then we can go over to our hip, which just has, the two things you already placed down. And then now we can start with a template for our enemies, which I have to move my screen a little bit. Battle enemies, and we did glove. So place a glove down. I want this range to be a little smaller. Do 6. And then I'll copy this so it uses a smaller range. Paste that. And then I'll also set a fodder too, so go to fodder. Place that, change the range down some. Copy that, paste clipboard, and maybe a few over here. So now we got our enemies in. Might notice they aren't textured, so we can refresh textures and models and they'll show up. I'm gonna save this. You want to make sure your hop file is saved also. You can do the save all hips. If this isn't saved, whenever the game tries to load the enemy models, because it hasn't saved you putting them in the level, the game will crash. So yeah, you want to make sure that's saved. We can go over to the game. And now we have some enemies. They have their sounds, all their animations and everything. So we can come in here. These ones also work. So now we have that done. Maybe we want to make the level look a little nicer. We want some decoration. So you'll go to a level you want decoration from. So I'll go to like Jellyfish Fields. And then I'll open the models. And then I'll open the hip for everything else. And then it's a mess, so I'm going to hide a bunch of this stuff. Just so I can see a little bit. So maybe I want this yellow plant here. So I'll check what model it uses, plant background. Come over to the hop, organize it so it's a little easier to find it, and we can type plant background. And maybe we want a white flower and a cactus. Why not? So copy those, go to our other thing. Windows is messing up with me. All right. And then I'll paste this with my other models. And now we need the textures for these two. So plant, flower, white, plant, cactus, plant, yellow. So these luckily all use around the same name. Plant, yellow, plant, white, plant, cactus. Copy these, put these in the textures. And the layer order does matter, so you'll notice it goes texture, and then the models use those textures, and the animations uses the models. And default, which is like where you place your enemies, uses the animation, and then the sounds, I guess, are set. I don't know, but it's just how the game works. So, and we want to copy one of these plants too, so that because they already don't have collision, we can use that to our advantage and not have to change a bunch of stuff. So now we are on paste clipboard. I'll hide some of these. I can resize this down a little bit. We can now place our plant. Maybe we want to rename it Plant 01 so that we can keep track of how many we have. And I'll place a bunch of these. And now we want to give it our different models. So we'll do like this one and this one. I like to go to the model name and just copy it directly. And then we put that in. And then plant, flower, white. We'll copy that too. And you'll notice this one is very, very small. So I can put it up to 111. And it's still a little small in my opinion. So I can make it a little larger. So now we can move these around, we can rotate them, we can resize them, you can do really whatever you want. And now we have a little area, we have some decoration with it, we made it look nice. We'll save this, make sure the hop also saved. And then we'll load it up in game. Do a quick turnaround. And here we go, we got plants everywhere. And walk through them, that they're not solid and you can jump on them and do skips and whatever. But here we go, we got our enemies too. They break apart, everything works fine. So now in the next one we will be adding an enemy to, or not an enemy, an NPC that can give us like a mission that we're supposed to do, so that if we like kill all these enemies we can get a reward from them. So yeah, we'll do that next.